Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today into how companies can use AI to get things done. We've got this playbook from Microsoft all about their new tool called Copilot for Microsoft 365. It's made for, well, business leaders who want to bring AI into their teams.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting roadmap for how to actually make AI work in the real world. They go beyond just, talking about boosting productivity. It's about giving people more space to be creative, to get away from all that boring stuff we all have to deal with.
So it's like AI handling the busy work, leaving us humans to do the fun stuff.
Exactly. Satya Nadella, Microsoft's CEO, even talks about removing the drudgery of work. I think that kind of sums it up.
I like that. So the playbook breaks things down into four phases. The first one is get ready. Seems like a logical place to start. You wouldn't just jump into anything without some prep work, right? What really stood out to me was how much they emphasized data security right from the get-go.
Oh, for sure. Especially with AI. People are, naturally concerned about privacy. What's really interesting here is that Copilot is built on top of Microsoft 365. So it basically inherits all those security protocols that are already in place.
Ah, so if a company's already using Microsoft 365 and they're comfortable with their security, they're kind of ahead of the game.
Exactly. It's like having that safety net already there. But even then, they do recommend kind of a data audit, making sure all your permissions and retention policies are in tip-top shape before rolling Copilot out to everyone.
So it's like a security spring cleaning before you let the AI in.
Right. Think about it. You're giving Copilot access to all this company information so it can do its thing. You really want to make sure that the right people have access to the right data. And this actually highlights something different about Copilot compared to some other AI tools out there because it's built into the Microsoft ecosystem. It's not an afterthought. That security is kind of baked in from the start.
That makes sense. It's all connected. And that brings up another point. They're pretty clear that you shouldn't just give everyone access to Copilot all at once. They recommend being strategic about it.
Yeah, they really emphasize that. Don't spread those licenses too thin. Focus on two or three key areas where you think Copilot can make a big impact right away. Like run a pilot program, see how it goes.
Makes sense. Test the waters before diving in. So how did Microsoft approach this internally? Where did they start?
Well, they actually started with their own marketing, sales, customer service, HR, and finance departments.
Interesting mix. Is there a common thread there?
It seems like they're targeting areas with, tons of information flying around all the time. Lots of meetings, emails, that kind of thing. Lots of data analysis. Places where Copilot can really step in and make a difference, take some of the load off. They even highlight a company, Lumen Technologies, that use this approach. They focused on their customer service, sales, and customer experience teams.
What was their goal with that?
Well, the playbook says it was all about boosting efficiency and making those customer interactions even better. It's like giving those teams an AI assistant to help analyze all that data, help draft responses, really personalize the experience.
Kind of like in those sci-fi movies where they have those holographic displays popping up with information and insights all in real time.
Yeah, exactly. But even with all that cool tech, it's not just about giving people access and saying good luck.
Right.
The playbook talks about setting up a dedicated team.
Yeah. They call it the AI Council, right? What exactly does that involve?
It's about bringing together people from IT, change management, risk management, and they even say to get an executive sponsor involved. It's about having all the bases covered, making sure the technical rollout is smooth, that people are comfortable with this new way of working, and that any compliance issues are dealt with proactively.
Like assembling your A team for AI adoption. I think it's smart that they're acknowledging the human element here. Even if people see the potential benefits, there's bound to be some hesitancy, some uncertainty about using AI in their work.
Absolutely. And the playbook actually addresses that head on. They stress how important it is to manage expectations. Copilot's meant to work with people, not replace them. It's an important distinction to make, especially with all the concerns people have about AI in general. Like they give the example that Copilot's much better at analyzing your internal company information than it is at answering, just general knowledge questions. It's designed to be a powerful assistant, one that you're in control of.
It's more like humans plus AI
Yeah.
working together to achieve something bigger than I either could on their own. So that's the get ready phase, laying the groundwork, making sure everything's in place for a smooth rollout.
Exactly. You got to build that foundation first.
All right, so what happens once we're ready? Let's move on to phase two, onboard and engage, where the playbook really dives into the human side of AI adoption. How do we get our teams excited about using Copilot? All right, so we've got our A team, our AI council all set up and ready to lead the charge. But how do we get everyone else on board with this whole AI thing? Phase two is all about onboard and engage, which seems pretty important.
Yeah, you can have the coolest, most advanced AI tool in the world, but it's not going to do much good if people aren't, actually using it. You really need that buy-in from your team.
Makes sense. You gotta get people excited about it. So how does the playbook suggest we approach that?
Well, it's interesting. It's not just about like training people, giving them a manual and saying go figure it out. It's about creating this whole culture of excitement and shared learning around Copilot. They even suggest creating a dedicated Copilot user community, almost like a fan club for your new AI assistant.
A fan club. Okay, I like that. Where would you even host something like that?
Well, they suggest using tools you might already be familiar with, like Microsoft Teams or Viva Engage, which is their internal social networking platform. Even simple things like online forums can help get the conversation started.
So it's all about giving people a space to share their experiences.
Yes.
Ask questions, maybe troubleshoot together, celebrate those aha moments when they figure something out.
Exactly. It's about, fostering that sense of community and making people feel like they're part of this exciting shift towards, AI-powered work. And speaking of exciting, the playbook also talks about identifying champions within the company.
Champions. Are we talking about the employees who wear capes to work?
Haha. Maybe figuratively. No, but seriously, these are your early adopters, the people who really dive into Copilot,
Yeah.
who figure out all the cool features and become those go-to experts for their teams. They're enthusiastic, they see the potential, and they're willing to share that knowledge and excitement with others.
I can see how that would be really contagious,
Hmm.
have that kind of energy spreading throughout the company. But how do you even find these champions? Do they just like magically appear?
Well, the playbook gives a few suggestions. Your AI council might already have some folks in mind. You can also look at usage data from the Copilot dashboard. See who's really engaging with the tool, and of course, manager recommendations are always valuable.
Makes sense. Look for people who are not only using Copilot effectively, but also, those natural leaders, those good communicators who can really help build that excitement and drive adoption.
Yeah.
And speaking of getting up to speed, the playbook also talks about, training. Jared Spataro, who's the CVP of Modern Work at Microsoft, he talks about this idea of continuous learning in the age of AI.
Yeah.
What stood out to you about their approach to training?
Well, it's not just about like one-time training sessions. They really emphasize that this needs to be ongoing because, as you know, AI is constantly evolving. The more people use Copilot, the more they'll discover new ways to leverage it. It's like learning a new language. The more you practice, the more fluent you become.
So it's about keeping people engaged, keeping them learning and adapting as the technology evolves. So how do they suggest companies, actually approach this ongoing training?
They actually provide a ton of resources. There's prompt guidance because knowing how to give Copilot clear instructions is key. Adoption resources. There's even a Copilot lab where people can experiment and get hands-on experience. They also talk about the importance of prompting, which is basically the art of giving clear and effective instructions to AI. And that's a skill that you can learn and refine over time.
So it sounds like they're really trying to make this as accessible as possible, recognizing that not everyone's a tech expert.
Yeah.
But even with all the training and support in the world, you still need to know if this investment is actually paying off, right?
That brings us to phase 3 of the playbook, deliver impact. How do we measure the success of our Copilot rollout? How do we know it's actually making a difference? Oh, you're absolutely right. And the playbook actually addresses that head on. It introduces what they call the Microsoft Copilot dashboard, which is basically your command center for tracking usage and adoption, and also the impact of Copilot across your organization. You can see who's using it, how they're using it, and what kind of results they're getting.
So it's like having a real-time report card for your AI implementation. You can see which teams are rocking it and which ones might need a little more support. And the playbook also mentions continuing those regular meetings with the AI council even after the initial rollout. Why is that important?
Well, it's about making sure your AI strategy stays aligned with your business goals. This isn't a set it and forget it kind of thing, right? AI is constantly evolving, your business is constantly evolving, so it's crucial to have that ongoing dialogue to identify any challenges and make adjustments as needed. It's like having, regular checkups to make sure everything's running smoothly.
So you're constantly evaluating, you're iterating, you're optimizing your approach. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But let's be honest. Sometimes those data points and dashboards can feel a little impersonal.
Yeah.
How do we keep that human element front and center in this whole AI adoption journey?
That's a great question. And the playbook actually emphasizes the importance of celebrating those success stories. You find a team that's using Copilot to crush their goals, shout it from the rooftops, share those wins, big or small, through internal newsletters, team meetings, even company-wide announcements.
So it's like giving those Copilot champions their moment in the spotlight. Right.
Exactly. And it does more than just recognize, their achievements. It creates this culture of excitement and reinforces the value of AI adoption. People see their colleagues succeeding with Copilot, and it inspires them to try it out, to experiment, and maybe even discover their own Copilot superpowers. It's about turning those data points into real human stories.
Speaking of superpowers, let's talk about taking things to the next level. We've got the basics down, people using Copilot effectively, but what if we want to push the boundaries even further? That's where phase 4 comes in. Extend and optimize.
Yeah.
Okay, so phase 4, extend and optimize. This is where we really start to see what Copilot can do, right? It's like we've graduated from basic training and now we're ready for the advanced course.
Exactly. It's like Copilot 101 is done, and now it's time for the master class. The playbook talks about two main ways to do this: tailoring Copilot to fit your specific needs, and even building your own custom Copilots. Really pushing the limits of what AI can do for you.
So tailoring, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like, are we giving Copilot a makeover, putting it in a new outfit?
Not quite. Think of it like this. Right out of the box, Copilot is super powerful, but it's also designed to be, flexible. You can connect it to your data sources, integrate it with your workflows, and basically mold it to fit your business. It's not one size fits all.
So it's adaptable. We can kind of make it our own.
Yeah. And they actually give this a name in the playbook. Copilot Studio. It's a low code platform that gives you all this customization power.
Low code. So does that mean like someone like me who's not exactly a coding whiz could still use it?
Yeah.
To tailor Copilot?
Yeah. That's the whole idea behind low code. It gives you these visual interfaces and pre-built components, so you don't have to, write code from scratch. It's like having a set of building blocks that you can snap together.
So I can like train Copilot to understand the specific language of my industry, right? Maybe pull data from our internal systems, automate some of those really niche tasks that only we do.
Exactly. Think about it. If you're in finance, you could connect Copilot to real-time market data, have it analyze your investment portfolio, maybe even automate those financial reports that used to take forever. Or if you're in HR, connect it to your employee database, use it to streamline the onboarding process, or even automate those performance reviews. It's really only limited by your imagination.
Okay, this is pretty mind-blowing. It's like having an AI assistant that speaks your language, that gets your business, but it goes even further than that, right? The playbook also talks about building entirely new Copilots. How's it different from just tailoring the existing Copilot?
This is where things get really interesting. Building new Copilots is about, creating completely separate AI assistants, like building specialized AI agents for different teams, different processes, even specific tasks. And here's the key difference. You're not just limited to the Microsoft 365 ecosystem anymore.
So we're taking Copilot out into the world.
Yeah. You can build a Copilot that lives on your website, interacts with your customers, or maybe it works behind the scenes, automating those really complex industry-specific tasks. It's about weaving AI into every part of your organization, everywhere it can add value.
Hey, now I'm getting really excited about this, but let's be practical for a second. The playbook does mention that you need a separate license for Copilot Studio if you want to build these custom Copilots. I imagine that's something businesses need to consider, right?
Oh, for sure. Anytime you adopt a new technology, you got to think about costs, resources and what the return on investment's going to be. But what I think is exciting about this approach is that it lets you start small, experiment and then scale up as you see the value. Maybe start by tailoring Copilot to address some of those immediate pain points and then as you get more comfortable with the technology, you can explore building those custom Copilots to really take things to the next level.
So it's a journey. It's not just about, flipping a switch.
Exactly. You start with those quick wins, build momentum, and then keep pushing the boundaries as your AI maturity grows.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. We've gone from getting ready to onboarding our teams, measuring the impact, and now extending and optimizing Copilot. It's been quite a journey. What I really like about this playbook is that it gives you a roadmap, a framework for success. It doesn't shy away from the challenges, the uncertainties, but it also shows you the incredible potential of AI to change how we work.
It's not just about adopting a new tool. It's about a whole new way of thinking, a whole new way of solving problems. It's about using AI to make us better, to unlock our creativity and ultimately to achieve more than we ever thought possible.
I think that's a great way to put it. So for everyone listening, we hope this deep dive has given you the knowledge and the inspiration to start your own AI journey. Remember, this is just the beginning. The world of AI is constantly changing. So stay curious, keep exploring, and who knows what amazing things you'll create. Until next time, happy co-piloting.